What's going on, Steno peeps? Jen back with a brand new dictation. Today we're going to do a literary. This is going to be called The Fall Chill, and it's all around getting that common cold in the fall season. So get your medical terms, medicines, and symptoms ready. At no particular speed, let's dive in. It was the first cool breeze of October when Clara felt it, an itch deep in her throat, the kind that sneaks up on you in the late afternoon and lingers like a forgotten word. She brushed it off as autumn's crisp air, but by the time she reached her apartment, the telltale signs were there. Fatigue weighing down her limbs, a faint, throbbing headache pressing against her temples, and an irritating tingle in her nostrils, a common cold. It always seemed to strike at the turn of the season, right when she thought she had outsmarted it. Clara collapsed onto the couch, her immune system already waging a silent war against an invisible foe. She imagined the virus, the rhinovirus probably, slinking its way through her nasal passages, binding to the epithelial cells like an uninvited guest who refused to leave. It was too late now. The sneezing would start soon, followed by the inevitable nasal congestion that would turn her voice into a nasal hum and her breathing into a struggle through half-clogged airways. Her phone buzzed. It was her friend, Tina, checking in about their plans for the weekend. Clara glanced at the message and groaned. She'd be in no condition for pumpkin patches or hay rides by Saturday, not with this viral invasion progressing at a swift pace. Clara shuffled to her medicine cabinet where her cold remedies lived like old friends, always there when needed, but rarely appreciated. The first bottle she grabbed was the tried and true acetaminophen. She poured out 2 pills and downed them with a glass of water. They'd help with the fever and the mild body aches she knew were on their way. Beside it, the familiar blue box of decongestant lozenges caught her eye. Phenylephrine for the congestion that was already threatening to tighten her sinuses like a vice. As she fumbled through her stash, Clara felt the first sneeze rise. It caught her by surprise, forcing her to grab a tissue and brace herself. Her head snapped toward the violent expulsion of air, carrying millions of viral particles into the surrounding room. This is how it spreads, she thought with a groan. She tossed the tissue into the waste bin and sat back down, pulling a blanket around her as if it might somehow shield her from the virus's progression. Hours passed. The chills arrived next, creeping up her spine, leaving goosebumps in their wake despite the blanket cocoon. She reached for the thermometer, the kind that read the temperature in seconds. 100.4, just as she suspected. A low-grade fever, the body's natural response to fend off the virus. It was, after all, trying to destroy what the rhinovirus had already started. Her nose began to drip incessantly, and Clara succumbed to the second weapon in her cold-fighting arsenal, the antihistamines. The packaging boasted of fighting sneezing, a runny nose, and watery eyes. She took one, knowing it wouldn't be a miracle cure, but it would at least make the flood of mucus a little more bearable. Clara settled back into her couch, flicking on the TV in a half-hearted attempt to distract herself from the viral battle within. All right, I'm sure there are some words in there you're going to have to look up and figure out how to brief or how to write. So good luck with that, because I'm going to need to do it too. And I'll catch you on the next dictation.